Okay, sorry I'm late. We had to run down to the cafeteria to grab some lunch, and it took longer than we thought. Great new cafeteria they have downstairs. Okay, so we're on both Facebook Live over here, and I'm on YouTube Live over here. Let me just adjust this camera just a little bit and make sure we're in place here. Welcome to my office. It's the interim of the 2019-2020 legislative session, I guess you would call it. It is the interim period where most of us go back to our normal jobs or our retirement, whatever it is that the legislator may do or not do. And in this case, what I did was I had a wonderful vacation. I had my 30th wedding anniversary with my wife, and we had a wonderful trip to Hawaii, which we haven't done in a while, and so it was great. So before I left on that vacation, we launched an investigation. I hate calling it an investigation because I'm not an investigator, but we talked with Secretary of State Bev Clarno and Deputy Secretary of State Rich Vial about an issue. It seemed to be an ongoing issue that was going on where I was receiving emails and messages on Facebook and texts and Twitter messages. People were asking me over and over and over, look, I went to the website where you can check your voter registration, and I'm registered now as a blank. Some people said, I'm a Republican and I didn't want to be a Republican. I'm a Democrat and I didn't want to be a Democrat. I'm a non-affiliated voter and I didn't want to be a non-affiliated voter. My first reaction was to go to SOS Clarno and Deputy SOS Vial and talk to them and say, is there an issue with the motor voter? Because I have never been a fan of the motor voter program. I believe that it could lead to some real situations that I'm not comfortable with. I voted no on it back in 2015, and I'm opposed to it. So the first thing I wanted to do was launch into that. Okay, is it that? So what I found out, and what I'm going to do is, I hope that you'll be patient and be with me or watch this later. This is the stack of emails and the results that I have of this investigation. First off, what I want to tell you about motor voter. Here's what I learned about motor voter. When you go to get your license, your driver's license for the first time, or you go to renew your driver's license. So let's say, I want to try to be as really careful and specific as I can. So I'm looking at my driver's license. Mine expires in 2022. So let's say we're 2022 and I go to DMV to get a renewed driver's license. So either new driver's license or renewed driver's license, or ID card. So let's say you are not allowed to drive for whatever reason and you just want an ID card. Oregon issues a non-driver's license ID card. And then because somebody's going to ask, I know somebody's going to ask, so let me touch on it. The bill that passed this year that gave driver's licenses to illegal immigrants, that is a different driver's license than the one I'm holding in my hand. It does not allow them to vote. They are not registered to vote. I want to make that very clear. That's not what this video is about, but I know somebody's going to ask. It is a totally different, it's a different color, it's a different shade, there's different fonts, it's completely different, it's a different form that they fill out. So though I am very opposed to that bill passing, and I am opposed to it mainly because with ballot measure 88 back in 2014, Oregon voters by 66% said, no, we don't want this. And this legislature overturned that. But put that aside for a moment. No, they are not automatically registered to vote. Okay, so back to the story. You go in and you get a new driver's license or a renewed driver's license. You are at that point automatically registered to vote, especially if it's your first license, or you're new to the state and you're getting a new license. You're automatically registered to vote. Here's the process, and I hope Rich Vial or Bev Clarno will correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I was there, I watched the whole process. There's a box you check off that says Republican, Democrat, Independent, Green, Constitution, you name it. All the parties are there. You would check that box or check non-affiliated voter. Not independent, that's Independent Party of Oregon. If you want to be an independent small I, that's different. That means you want to be non-affiliated. You don't want to be a part of any party. If you write the word independent, you're going to be put into the Independent Party of Oregon. But if you write non-affiliated or check the box that says not affiliated, or I believe it actually says not affiliated with any party. So you check that box, you sign it, there you are. If you don't do anything at the DMV about your voter registration, what happens is they send a postcard to your address, the new address. And oh, by the way, this also happens if you change your address or you change your last name. So let's say you get married and your name goes from Smith to Jones. You are, again, automatically registered, not as an NAV, automatically. What happens is a postcard will come to your house and it will ask you, do you want to be a registered voter and what party would you like to be with? If you do not reply, if you don't send that postcard back, then you are automatically registered as a non-affiliated voter. Only then. It doesn't happen at the DMV. It happens by not returning that card or not by checking the box right there at DMV when you get your new driver's license. Does that make sense? Now, let me go to some examples. I wish you could see on my screen right back here, I've pulled up the website from the Oregon Secretary of State site. It's called My Vote. So if you just Google Oregon My Vote, it'll take you to this site. As you can't really see very well, but what it says here is first name, last name, date of birth. That's how you check to see what you are registered as right now at this moment. So you type in Bill Post and your Bill Post birth date. It will show you your address, your latest address, whatever they have on file. Your latest address, it'll show what you're registered, what party or not affiliated party that you're with, and it'll have all the information. From there, you can go in and change that if you'd like, but you need your driver's license number or your last four digits of your social security number. Now, this brings me to a thing that we found out. When I was sitting in the Secretary of State's office with both Secretary of State Bev Clarno and Rich Vial, the deputy, and their tech person, that page over there, I said, I want to experiment with something. And they said, okay, go ahead. I know my son's driver's license number and social security number. So I said, let's put him in. I know his birthday too, of course. So I put his information in. I said, what happens if I go to the next screen where I can change my registration and I know his driver's license or I know his social security card? And they said, oh, well, you wouldn't be able to do anything. But I did. I went to the next step, clicked on that, entered his driver's license number, and the next page was, what do you want to register as? I could have changed his registration. So again, it's not the Secretary of State doing anything wrong. It's not DMV doing anything wrong. Is there a glitch in the system? Yes. But what I'm really happy about is that Rich and Bev immediately and their tech person jumped on it, and they are working on fixing that glitch. That came as a shock to them. They had no idea. Now, I don't know how many people you know their driver's license or their social security number, but I suppose it could happen. But I don't think that's the heart of what this investigation found out. I don't think that's the heart of what I'm going to go through with you, this pile. I'm not going to go through them all, but I'm going to give you enough that you'll get an example. So I asked you, some of you are watching perhaps, others of you will watch later or you're not watching, but I asked you, send me proof that your registration was changed or that something's wrong with your registration. So here's what I got. And I'm not going to say names, and I'm going to keep this very anonymous because what you did, I also, when you sent me that information, I asked for your permission. Can I use your information and give it to the Secretary of State's office and go through the investigation with them? And I got a yes from everybody. But I'm not giving out your personal information to anybody else but the Secretary of State, who already has it, by the way. And let me back up for a moment. Here was another thing that I learned that was fascinating to me. This is going to show my age, but in 1978, I filled out a voter registration card when I turned 18 in November of 1978. They had that in their computer. Not that actual card, but they had they took I don't know what they did back in 1978, a Xerox of it and scanned it in or whatever. But they had the history, my entire voting history, registration history, not voting history, my registration history from 1978. When I filled out that very first voter card, they had a picture of it. There was my signature, William R. Post, in 1978. And then anytime I moved or, and I've never re-registered. I've always been a Republican. So that didn't change. But every time I moved, you could see I either did it online and they had a record of it, or I did it at the post office and filled out the card and mailed it in, and they had a picture of it. They had every single thing from every time I've had to change anything. For me, it was address. Every time I changed my address, every time I moved, I had to update my registration. They had the entire record. So I am telling you guys, nobody's monkeying around with changing your registration. It's all there. So let me start with this first one. Hi, I was registered as a Republican previously, always have been. Okay, so what I have is the original email from that person, and then I have a printout with redacted information. And I'm going to show you this, but I'm going to kind of just flash it real fast because you can see the name, and I don't want you to see the name. But what I want you to just get an idea of, this is what the printout looks like from the Secretary of State's office. On this one, this particular person in 2014, on the exact date, 10/14/2014 at 8:16:42 a.m., this person registered non-affiliated. And right here where it's redacted, I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to show that here. This is the signature box. This person's signature is there. It's redacted by the Secretary of State so that I can't copy it or use it for anything. So this person who wrote me and said, I've always been a Republican. No, you've not been. In 2014, you signed a card, or you signed online, or you signed at DMV or somewhere. I don't know where, but at 8:16:42 a.m. on 10/14/2014, you signed that you were non-affiliated. And I want to show that non-affiliated. It's right there. But then on 7/6/2019, so just last month, this person re-registered. It says update registration, Republican. I don't know how else to explain it to you. And I have pages and pages of these, but that's a perfect example. This person lives down in Southern Oregon. 2014, you became a non-affiliated voter. Here's another case. On June 30th, I checked my voter registration online, and it showed non-affiliated instead of Republican, as it should have, and has been for previous years. I've never changed it myself to non-affiliated. I immediately changed it to Republican. Well, once again, here's the printout from the Secretary of State's office. This particular person, and I would love to give names, but I can't because it wouldn't be right. But let's see. Voter registration card on 8/13/2015. This person hand checked the box right there that says not a member of a party. There's a box right there. There's the signature right there. So this person who thought they were always a Republican, I've never changed to non-affiliated. You did in 2015. That's your handwriting. That's your box you checked. Now, I'm not trying to be mean or anything. I'm just trying to tell you, here's what I'm thinking happened, because I've heard this story from several people, is that I was really ticked off at the Republican Party in 2015. And so I just said, I'm not going to be a party member anymore. This is the proof. And this same person on July 2nd of 2019, update registration to Republican. Okay, so there's one. There's another one. Let me give you, you're going to see a pattern here, guys. Hi, Representative Post. As with many others, my voter registration status was incorrect. When I logged into the state website, I found that I was listed as non-affiliated instead of Republican, as I've always been. Well, here we go. On 7/25/09, 2009, this person signed, there's the signature, not affiliated with any party. In 2009, 10 years ago, this person filed as a non-affiliated voter. Then on July 9th of this year, update registration, Republican. You did that online. So again, this person filed as a non-affiliated voter in 2009. Here's another one. Hi, my husband thought he was a Republican, but he's listed as an NAV. Okay, here we go. Again, there's the signature, there's the date. On 12/23/2016, this person registered as a non-affiliated voter in 2016. On July 1st of 2019, update registration, Republican. I know this is kind of being tedious, but here's one. My son's officiation was changed from independent to not a member of a party. Well, here's your son's registration because you gave me the information. Here's the signature. Here's the box checked, not a member of a party, May 1st, 2014. And again, May 23rd of 2014, party, non-affiliated. So twice your son has checked the box, not affiliated, twice in 2014. Hello, Bill. You asked for proof of inaccurate voter registration. My husband's information is incorrect. I do not know if this occurred when he originally got his license and registered, or if it happens when we updated our address. He is supposed to be registered as a Republican. Okay, once again, signature box, date of registration, 2/13/2016, non-affiliated. And then again on 3/15/2016, update address, non-affiliated. Your husband had filed as a non-affiliated and has not changed his affiliation since. Here's another one. Hi, my mother has been a registered Republican for her whole entire voting career. One of the last elections, her ballot came and it said she had been changed to NAV. Well, here's why. Your mom on 7/2/2016 registered non-affiliated. There's her signature. There's the date it was stamped. That's when it was done in 2016 on 7/2. Then on October 12th of 2018, update address with DMV, Republican. So she changed back to Republican on 10/12/2018. So that's what mom did. This person's mom. Here's another. It's a long email. I won't read it to you. I'm 63 years old. I've been registered since I was 18. I've changed my party affiliation many times. Blah, 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 blah. A lot of different stuff. Here's what I want to show. There's the signature again. Here's the box. Not a member of a party. And it is checked and it is signed. And this was done on, let me find the date. This one's a little harder to read. 3/21/2017. 3/21/2017. Non-affiliated. You chose non-affiliated. Nobody did it for you. Hi, Bill. What is this? Why does this show for myself and my husband, non-affiliated voter? We've been Republicans here forever. Well, both you and your husband on 10/1/2014 registered non-affiliated. There's your signatures. And then again, you updated your address on 6/28 of this year and put in non-affiliated. I can't help you if you're doing it. It's not the Secretary of State and it's not DMV. You're doing this. Hi, I'm a lifelong Oregonian, 64 years in county, and I've always been an independent. This is where the confusion sometimes comes into place. Independent, meaning I don't want to be any party because he uses a small I. But you're probably been put into the Independent Party of Oregon, and that's exactly what happened. Why? Because in August of 2006, there was no Independent Party of Oregon. So you checked the box that says independent with a small I. You were automatically put in the Independent Party of Oregon because right there, You updated your registration card in July of 2019, just last month on the 6th. You updated it. It says update registration, Independent Party of Oregon. So you're confused, sir, and I don't mean to be insulting in any way. You want to be independent, meaning you don't want to be any party. That's clear from your original registration. But you are now in the Independent Party of Oregon because you didn't say, I don't want to be affiliated with any party. I hope this is helping. I'm going to stop here shortly, but I wanted to give a couple more examples. Pretty much this email says the same thing. I've always been a Republican. I didn't want to blah, blah, blah. This person signed, there's the signature. Here's the date, 10/7/2016, party, Independent Party of Oregon. And then official activated registration on 10/7/2016, the same date, Independent Party of Oregon. You chose the Independent Party of Oregon. Again, I don't know what else to say. Here's one, Bill. I sent DMV a card to be returned by a certain date, or I would automatically be registered non-affiliated. I don't know what happened. I never saw the card. I looked online. Well, to this person, again, I wish I could say the name. On 9/13 of 2012, you registered as a Democrat. On February 13 of 2019, you updated by changing your address and still registered as a Democrat. Now, maybe that's what you wanted, but you're not a non-affiliated voter and you're not a Republican. You are a registered Democrat. That's what, there it is. Okay. I have this many more. I don't know if you can see how thick this stack is, but you're getting the pattern. This is the pattern, folks. Go to this website over here, My Vote, Oregon My Vote. Just Google it, Oregon My Vote. I'll put the link in the comments on both these sites in a little bit. As soon as we get done, I'll put the link. Check your registration. And I would say check it once a quarter, or at least check it maybe 2 months before the next election, which will be May of 2020. And then, of course, November of 2020. If you want to be in a party, whether it be Republican, Democrat, Independent Party, Constitution, Green, Libertarian, whatever it might be, you need to say, I want to be in that party. If you want to be non-affiliated, independent with a small I, you need to check non-affiliated voter, NAV. Here's what I recommend. I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat. I'm a Republican. I would love for you to choose the Republican Party, but I'm not trying to push that. What I am saying is the parties hold primaries in May. If you want to vote in the primary in May, you must register as a Republican or a Democrat. Being a non-affiliated voter will get you nowhere in a primary. You will get a ballot, but it will be for anything that is not partisan. So if your county commissioner race is nonpartisan, you'll get that. If you have a ballot measure that's nonpartisan, well, any ballot measure is nonpartisan. If you have a city council race that's nonpartisan, you'll get a ballot for that. But you won't be able to vote for Secretary of State, Attorney General, Treasurer, your state representative, your state senator. You have to be affiliated with a party, Democrat or Republican, to be able to vote in the primary. So, bottom line, summation, at some point, you registered as a non-affiliated voter. Now, whether you were ticked off at your party or what, and I heard a lot of that. Trust me, guys. Remember, before I was elected, I was a talk show host. From 2009 to 2015, I was a talk show host. And I heard calls from people every day. I'm mad at the Republican Party. I'm mad at the Democrat Party. I am going to become independent. I'm not going to be affiliated with any party. I heard that for 10 years. I get that. All of these persons, every single one of them that sent me their example, every single one at some point registered as a non-affiliated voter. I can't help you. So you need to go into that website and change your registration if that's what you want. If you want to stay non-affiliated, God bless you, stay non-affiliated. Just remember, you can't vote in a primary for partisan candidates. I hope this was helpful. I see I didn't get any questions, and that's okay because I think we explained everything pretty well. My lunch is getting cold, so I'm going to go to my lunch here, but I will put the link on. If you're watching me on Facebook, I'll put the link there in a moment. If you're watching me on YouTube, I'll put the link there in a moment. And that takes you to the site where you can find your registration currently. Make sure it's up to date. Make sure your address is correct, your current mailing address. Here's another thing that I want you to make sure. Make sure it's the right name. And I know that sounds stupid, but I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm William Ronald Post. So is my son. When my son was living at home, before he grew up and moved on, we would get ballots in the mail and we didn't know whose was whose. Which one's William Ronald Post and which one's William Ronald Post? So I went to my county clerk's office and I went to Bill Burgess, who's our county clerk here in Marion County. And I said, what do I do? What do you suggest, Bill? And he said, why don't you just go by Bill Post and leave his the way it is? And so I re-registered and signed my voter registration card as Bill Post. Now when the ballots, and now my son has lived somewhere else, but the last time it happened, one ballot came for Bill Post and one ballot came for William Ronald Post, and that was my son. So it's important to make sure you're getting the right name. Is it your married name? Do you want to go by your married name? If you're a lady and you're married and which name are you using? Make sure that voter registration is exactly what you want it to be. The name that you want, the address that you want, where you currently live, and the party or not party that you want to be with. I hope this was helpful. I've been thinking about this for over 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks now, and I really wanted to get you this information. If you have any questions, please feel free to write me. If it's under this category, sort of official state business, please use, here, let me write it in the comments right now. Please use this address, rep.billpost@oregonlegislature.gov. Okay, there, I just put my email address. Okay. Oh, I do. Oh, there were tons of comments. I'm sorry that I didn't get to your comments. For some reason, they weren't showing on my screen till just now. I will try to get to you. Tammy asks, why are you taking that website's proof when we have to check it quarterly to see if it is correct? I'm not giving you a website's proof. I'm giving you printout from the Secretary of State's records. They have every single time you change your address or any reason you change your registration, they have it. They gave me a printout right off of their computer screen. This is straight from the Secretary of State's computers, their main computers. It's not a website. It's not a website you can go to. This is from their computers. Okay. So I can't answer all these questions because I haven't had time to do all this, but I hope you'll at least go back and watch this whole video and that you'll understand what I'm trying to accomplish here. I don't believe that there is anything wrong with the system. Do I trust government? Well, of course not. But I trust what's going on at the Secretary of State's site, and I do trust what's going on at DMV. I do believe they're doing the right thing. I believe that a lot of people change their registration at some point, and I don't know why that would have to be something you take up with yourself and your family. That's going to be it for now. If you have questions, I put my email address there. It's rep.billpost@oregonlegislature.gov. Send us your questions. Before you send your questions, please go back and watch this entire video. It's long. It's now going on almost 30 minutes, but I think it'll be worth your time. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you watching and sharing this with me, and I hope that we answered your questions. Have a great day.